I'm VJ Hamilton and welcome to the Autoimmune Reset, the place for you to learn how to thrive with autoimmune disease and feel empowered to take steps to transform your health to feel better than ever. You can start making changes today to improve your health. So with every episode, my mission is to share with you simple ways to up-level your diet and lifestyle with key learnings from my own journey reversing autoimmune disease and inspirational stories from those who have reset their autoimmune symptoms and are now thriving in life. I suffered from autoimmune disease for over 25 years and now I live symptom-free, and I wish the same for you as well. So thank you for being here and sharing this time with me. Now let's get started. Hello and welcome to this Friday 5 episode of the Autoimmune Reset podcast. I'm your host, VJ Hamilton. I'm a nutritionist, scientist and expert in autoimmune disease. And today I want to delve into the reasons why people self-sabotage their health. And I know that when you have an autoimmune condition or a chronic illness, you may have a lot of challenges that prevent you from progressing with your health, and I completely understand that. But when it comes to the psychology of well-being, there may be things that you are doing time and time again, which is sabotaging your progress when it comes to your health. The book that I am going to be talking about today is called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, because he talks about the reasons that people self-sabotage, not just to do with their health, but to do with their life. And when I read this book, it felt like therapy to me because it answered so many questions about the way that I was behaving. And at the point that I read the book, I had already taken many steps to improve my health, and there was still some work to do, but I was able to look back and see the mistakes that I'd made, and I understand why I'd made them when I read this book. So if you haven't read The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, please read it because it has been so helpful to me, and I don't know anybody that has read it and hasn't found it truly inspiring and helpful as well. The book talks about the upper limit problem, and the upper limit problem is about the limit that we all have when it comes to what we feel that we deserve. So it's an unconscious ceiling that we place on our success and happiness. And what I want to talk about today is the 5 reasons that Gay Hendricks discusses in his book that can lead to self-sabotage, because you might resonate with some of these, you may resonate with one of them, and by understanding why you're doing something you can then address it. But I feel like I'm only going to be scratching the surface today when it comes to this book, so definitely if you have some time this weekend, go out and buy the book, or you can also get the audiobook and you can hear Gay Hendricks read the book, and I love his voice as he reads the book as well. And I have spoken about this book on another podcast episode, so you may have already read it, and I hope you have. So the first reason that you might self-sabotage when it comes to your health is the fear of outshining others. And Gay talks about this in the book that we hold ourselves back, and that is because we don't want to make other people feel uncomfortable or inadequate, and this is why we can end up self-sabotaging. So for example, you might have started taking steps to improve your health, you're seeing amazing results, but then you feel like your success is making others around you feel inadequate. You might be part of a group which is specific to your condition, or you might have family members that are struggling with their health and you have transformed yours and they haven't, and you can see that it's making those people feel uncomfortable, and that can lead to self-sabotage. And that might show up in your life that you might then start to eat unhealthy foods again, or you might start skipping your exercise, or you might start skipping your meditations because you know that's helping you, but deep down inside you have this fear of outshining others, and that leads to self-sabotage. So it's certainly worth thinking about whether your health improvements are making other people uncomfortable. And this might be the reason that you are self-sabotaging to get you to that next step. So the next reason that people self-sabotage is the fear of success. And this might sound counterintuitive because you would just expect that you would want to be successful in your health. But you can sometimes be fearful about what that success means. Now, you can see this when it comes to financial success, because that can mean changing friendship groups. It can mean going into different environments that you might not be comfortable with. And there are lots of things around financial success that can lead to the fear of success. But this can also relate to your health, because if you reach your health goal, you might wonder, like, what is next and can you maintain this even? I mean, that's probably where I am. And because of that, that can feel extremely daunting. You just feel like, wow, I've put so much effort in here. I am having success, but what does this mean for me? Again, you need to explore whether this is a factor for you. But for instance, you might find that after weeks of eating well and moving and looking after yourself, that you suddenly find that you start overeating again, or you start making unhealthy choices when it comes to your food. And it might be that you have lost that interest or motivation because you are afraid of achieving your goals. And I definitely see this a lot with clients, and it may be other factors that they're fearful of as well. But just make sure that you are not self-sabotaging because you fear what a life free of symptoms or feeling at your best actually means for you. And you can do some journaling to explore that. If you find that you are going into cycles of self-sabotage, journaling can help so much to understand what is driving you to make unhealthy decisions. So that is a great tool to use if you find that you are going through these cycles of self-sabotage. The next one is a deep-rooted limiting belief. And that deep-rooted limiting belief can be a belief that we hold about ourselves. And these are often formed in childhood. And these types of beliefs tell us that we can not achieve in certain areas. And it's also the belief that we have about ourselves. And a lot of the time, something might have happened to you as a child where you were told that you were wrong or that something wasn't right with you. And then you just go into adulthood feeling that there is something not quite right about you. And I know it's not my particular area, but I see this a lot with neurodivergent children because they feel that they are different at a young age. And then they go into their adult life having this deep-rooted belief that they're different, but they're not different. They just need to understand their condition. And for example, I had alopecia areata as a child, so I felt different. And that means that as I became an adult, I didn't believe that I was as strong as other people, and I had always been told that I had this dysfunctional immune system. But the truth is, I can be as healthy as the next person. So this one in particular really resonated with me, and it wasn't just around health. There were other things where people had told me that certain things were wrong when it came to confidence, actually. And I think that can happen a lot with girls who are confident at a young age. You can be picked up on certain behaviours, and maybe that's one for another podcast, but this really resonated with me. And just observing that and understanding that, it helped me so much. I didn't really need to do anything else. I just realised, oh, I've had this belief about myself. It comes up again and again when it comes to fitness as well, because as a teenager, I started developing chronic fatigue. So I just never felt like I had the same energy and fitness as my peers, but it was because I had chronic fatigue at the time. And I see that now. I should not think that there is this ceiling because of that. And that can lead you to self-sabotage. So if you are going around with these beliefs in your head, like, I'm just not the type of person who can be fit, or I'll never be able to stick to a healthy diet, you need to switch that thinking process and realize that you can be anything that you want to be. Yes, there may be things holding you back in certain areas, but if you actually think about it, you can do the things that you potentially believe that you can't do. And knowing where that belief is coming from is absolutely key. The next reason is the fear of losing connection. And Gay Hendricks talks about how we often associate success with the risk of losing relationships. Again, this is quite a easy one to vision when it comes to financial success, but it can also come out in your health as well. And actually, this is normally quite a big blocker, especially when it comes to alcohol, because if your social interactions revolve around unhealthy habits like drinking or eating out, and just to note, eating out doesn't need to be unhealthy, but that may mean that you fear that if you are healthy, you're not going to be able to enjoy the same time with friends. And I went through this myself, because when I was in London and in my 20s, I have always loved to socialise and be with my friends. And the truth is, I can still be friends with those people. And if your relationships are just reliant on eating out and drinking, then that isn't the greatest relationships. And I found that when I gave up alcohol for a long period of time and I would go out with my friends without drinking, I had much more meaningful conversations, and I realised how valuable my relationships actually were. I didn't need all that other stuff. So there can be some self-sabotage going on, because you are worried that if you get healthy and you start bringing in healthy habits and maybe new hobbies into your life, that it's going to impact your relationship with others. But based on my experience, it's strengthened my relationships, if anything. And then the next final one is the fear of being a burden. And Gay Hendricks points out that some people believe that if they achieve too much success, they'll become a burden to others. Others, either by requiring more attention or making others feel inferior. This one comes up time and time again in self-sabotage. You worry what people think and what's going to happen to your relationships if you do change. But if you need to change, you need to change for yourself. And that needs to be number one. So in this context, when it comes to health, you might think that your commitment to wellness could burden your friends or family. For instance, if you start cooking healthier meals and they don't like healthier meals, then you might worry what they're going to think or what they're going to eat. But they should be supporting you too. And there is a compromise, I do realise that, but actually eating healthier is going to benefit everybody in your life, including yourself. And I suppose if you then start committing to different types of exercise, or as I said, bringing in some healthier hobbies into your life, that can impact others as well. But you're not going to be a burden. I find that most people that change their health for the better actually start influencing the people around them for the better, and that helps everyone involved. So that is another reason that people self-sabotage. So there you have it, the 5 reasons that you may be self-sabotaging your health, which is inspired by the book The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. I will put the link to the book in the show notes if you would like to buy it, and it's a really lovely book to listen to as well. Do any of these resonate with you? If they do, it's definitely worth exploring that. You can either do that with journaling, you can speak to people about it, you can think about it, but just get to the bottom of that, and then once you understand that, hopefully you won't be going back into those cycles of self-sabotage, so you can actually move forward. And that's what I had to do. I was going through cycles of getting better for many, many years, and then I would always go backwards, and I was never seeing those long-lasting results that I've seen now. And this was part of it. This was definitely part of it. I was fearful of my relationships. I thought there was something wrong with me. I didn't want to burden other people in my life, and I didn't want it to affect my friendships. And honestly, none of that has happened. It's actually just improved every area of my life, and I would love the same for you as well. If you have any questions about this, feel free to pop over to my Instagram account at the Autoimmunity Nutritionist. You can also join my free group, the Autoimmune Forum, which is an amazing community of people who have autoimmune disease and are finding the best ways to thrive in life. So I'd love to see you over there. And next week, on Wednesday, the 14th of August 2024, I am hosting a free workshop called Nutrition Essentials for Itchy Skin. So if you have skin conditions such as eczema or hives or other conditions that cause itchy skin, and you are looking to understand what the best nutrients are for your skin health to help you with itchy skin, then I will be covering that in the session. I also have done an article on the key nutrient deficiencies that are linked to itchy skin, which I'm going to post the link to in the show notes. I'd love to see you over there. It's at 8 p.m. next Wednesday. But if not, I hope you have a fantastic weekend and I will speak to you soon. Take care. Thank you very much for joining me today on the Autoimmune Reset. I really hope you enjoyed the discussion, and be sure to subscribe to the podcast so that you never miss an episode. And if you liked it, I would hugely appreciate a review on iTunes, as it helps me understand what you like about the podcast and to help share the information with more people. I'm excited to speak to you next time, and remember, you have the power to take the reins on your health. So keep the faith and celebrate the small wins. Until next time.